Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Film is Okie Dokie, the show where every other week we sit down and watch a movie to decide whether or not it is okie dokie. I am Tommy, joined as always by CJ. CJ, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain.
Very nice, very nice. And Thank you for asking about myself. I'm doing fantastic. So let's just dive into business. I'm good. Today got a big PB in Fallout New Vegas, so I'm feeling good. Not actually big in terms of time save, but big in terms of milestone. So I'm feeling good. But CJ, before we forget, you messaged me saying you had a follow-up to last episode when we watched Scrooged.
I did.
So tell me all about this. I've been sitting on pins and needles for like the last week waiting on this.
Okay, so I don't remember what it was, but you know, it's the time of the year, it's Christmas, it's the holidays, and so there's a lot of, you know, holiday-esque things kind of being put out, you know, video essays and movies and analysis and
podcast episodes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Happy New Year, by the way.
Yes, Happy New Year to all of our listeners as well. It is January 2nd for you, totally January 2nd for us as well.
Exactly. And somebody made a point that I found really interesting, and it was about sort of a delineating factor between the Scrooge adaptations that work and the ones that don't work as well. And it is the scene with the coal, right? Because, you know, for example, like, let's examine Bill Murray. Bill Murray wants to work late, and he needs his secretary to work late because if she doesn't work late, then he can't work late, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everything else is like, you don't really get a full sense on like his own like cruelty or greed or anything like that. I don't know that really comes through. But if you think back to the Muppets Christmas Carol, there's the scene with the coal, right?
Now, could you please remind me.
Bob Cratchit asks if they can have and the rats in that case ask if they can have a piece of coal for the fire. And they make a joke, it's to thaw out the ink, right? And he says no, right? Now, it's not like Scrooge has a big fire going in his office, right? It's not like he is enjoying a luxurious life that he is not subjected, that he is like forcing other people to not be subjected to, right? He is like, you can't have coal because I understand how much coal costs. And if you would just not waste coal, you could have as much money as I do, right?
Right, it's like the avocado toast of their universe.
Yeah, exactly. But while he's doing that, while he's forcing all the people in his office to sit miserably in the freezing cold, he is also in the freezing cold. Right? So, like, from, like, this weird perspective, he's not forcing people to live a life that he himself is unwilling to live. Like, the cruelty of Scrooge is like, everybody should live like me because I am right. If everybody lived like me, everything would be fine, right? Because I am willing to do the things that you're not willing to do, which also sounds a little right-wingy when I say it that way. But I think you get what I'm saying. Like, there's a difference there in the characterizations between the two characters.
Now,
because one is like, I'm being cruel, I'm making you work Christmas Eve so that I can work late. The other
Right.
one is, like, I guess it's equal, but it's like, you can't have Christmas off because I was going to work Christmas.
Right. It's forcing your own lifestyles and values onto others.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
So now remind me, because it's been, quite some time since I've seen really any Christmas Carol adaptations other than the two that we've covered on this show. Are there other Christmas Carol adaptations you've seen, maybe fresh in your mind, or you just remember well, where there is some other sort of analog similar to the Muppets one where
they have the coal?
Yeah. Is the coal a pervasive thing, or is that just one adaptation?
It comes up. It's like the Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol adaptation has it. I think the coal is a returning thing because the counting house is a key scene in the Christmas Carol. It's like one of the few things you can't really like pivot from.
Okay.
So I think that and the other elements of that have some pervasiveness.
Nice. So how did this come up in your mind and get you thinking about it? Was it you were watching the Muppets Christmas Carol again, and just that?
No, I saw somebody said something about like what separates positive and negative adaptations of A Christmas Carol, and it kind of talked about some of the things, and I was like, yeah, this is one of the things that I feel like we didn't really touch on. Like part of what really drives home for me is the fact that it's not that he's not willing to do the things he's asking other people to do.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, thank you for following up on that. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that.
There you go.
So to transition now into our next thing, we had talked about how it's the new year, which means predictions for 2026. CJ, are you ready for us to kind of hash out our thoughts on all of these predictions?
Yeah.
All right. So, to remind or inform those of you listening who might not remember or didn't listen to our last episode, we are running a prediction pool for the episodes of The Film is Okie Dokie that will be releasing in the year of 2026. If you check the description of this episode, you will find a link to a Google form that will serve as your ballot, where you'll predict a handful of things about the movies that will be covered on The Film is Okie Dokie in the year of 2026. Now, the only exceptions to what movies will be covered are this movie, Game Night, will not count towards the totals. So when it comes to specific predictions, you can't put Game Night. And also worth noting, we will not have a movie featured on the next episode. So the total count of films will be 24. Now, a little bit of code of honor here. We're going to go through these predictions, and at the end of this episode, in the post show, it will be revealed what the next movie we are watching will be, even though that won't be next episode. It'll be in 2 episodes from now. So please, and I will remind you in the post show, if you want to fill out this ballot, please go and fill it out before you listen to what movie will be featured next time. Will it ultimately impact things greatly? No, but, say you make a specific prediction and it happens to be the film covered next time, we might look at your ballot with, a bit of maybe side eye it a bit. But something on that subject worth noting, these are going to be sealed ballots. Once they are filled out, we won't be looking at them until the end of the year so as to not be influenced in what films we choose. Make sure you put your email down on the ballot. There is a spot for it so that you will get emailed a copy of your responses. That way you won't forget throughout the year and whatnot in case you want to revisit it. But yeah, check the description, fill out your ballot. Maybe after CJ and I kind of brainstorm here as we run through what we maybe think in terms of predictions. And quick disclaimer, this is, just us having a conversation. We might be a little coy, but we're not going to be straight out saying like, well, I'm guessing this. I'm guessing this. We're not flat out saying our predictions, Maybe maybe our predictions will be included in this conversation, but this isn't going to be us just walking through what we think for the year. So, yeah. CJ, you ready? You ready to? Oh, and I guess one final important bit of detail. The last day to submit your ballot is January 29th. January 29th. So make sure, check the calendar, look what day it is. If it's before January 29th, go fill it out. So let's get into this, CJ. Do you remember what the first question on the ballot is?
Not a shot.
Okay. Well, first, how about I resend you the link so you have it, so you can also look. But the first question is, what genre will be featured most? We have a list of them there, and there's also a spot where you can fill in a custom one should any of the ones listed not be satisfactory to you. Sorry, did that link work for you?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, cool. Sweet. All right. So, CJ, what are your thoughts?
So we watched a lot of movies that had comedy in the genre.
Yeah, comedy definitely seems to be one that can be easily tacked onto a movie. So I do think that would be a strong choice.
Yeah, so comedy feels like it would be a strong contender. However,
that seems the safe option.
How strongly are we going to attack on genre? Like, are we only doing one genre per film?
I would say we can do two. Let's go back a little bit. I know that last episode you had gone through and just kind of taken from Google what a lot of the films we had covered were. But going back, like the Banshees of Inisherin, I want to say that Google classified that as like a drama comedy. Would you classify that as a comedy though?
What was the movie?
Deliberate. Banshees of Inisherin?
Yeah, black tragic comedy or something.
So you would say that's a comedy?
No, that's what it said.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure if I would call that a comedy.
It made me laugh, but I don't think I wouldn't tell people, oh, it's a comedy. You're going to have such a good time.
It certainly has funny parts, and like black comedy makes me belly laugh a lot at times, but I definitely think more on the tragedy drama side. So I like that one. I would feel pretty comfortable myself. And, if you feel differently, we could have a conversation about it. But I would say that would be just drama, right? True Grit, similar note. I feel like that one will be like Western drama. I personally am not sure I would assign comedy to it. So
sure. We're not going to be like the Golden Globes.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, I don't feel as though we should tack on additional genres just because like for comedy, you're like, oh yeah, that made me laugh a few times. Let's put that in there. Or what's a good example of one that we could like maybe Heathers. Like, I don't think we would tack action onto Heathers, right? Though I could see maybe action being included in there, or romance, for example. I don't think that's quite a romance film, but I could see it being classified as that. So I think we should be more on the conservative side in terms of assigning genres, so as we don't bloat out comedy just because something has comedic elements. So that being said, how do you feel? I mean, what genre is calling to you most?
It's tricky. I think this year will be a good year for musicals.
Oh, interesting.
I think that's how I'm going to phrase it.
Okay. Okay, I like that. Good.
I don't think
That's
we've
a
had
bold
one
prediction.
really.
Meet the Feebles.
But yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
I like that. That would be a lot of musicals, I'm sure. I feel like to win, we would need to cover a genre at least 3 or 4 times. But hey, I don't want to say that's out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
I think action adventure is certainly strong because a lot of movies can apply to that, though. I think this, I think there's a good chance of this year being a good year for thriller.
Okay.
We covered a few movies that I would consider thriller this past year, but I don't know, maybe as we're broadening the horizons here with types of films that we might be comfortable with covering, thrillers might be dipping their toe in here and there.
Okay. All right. I can see that.
Yeah. How about we move on to the next one? Guess a specific film to be featured this year. Now, again, this is listed in the ballot. You and I cannot, and any guests who might be filling this out, cannot put in a movie that they then end up picking. It'll just be written off. If, like, say, for example, I was like, I'm going to guess The Sandlot, and then we watch The Sandlot based on my pick. We can't, that'll get overruled. So I guess for the sake of this discussion, it'll be, what's a movie you think I'll pick or a guest will pick, and vice versa?
I have to send you a picture really quick.
Okay.
I made this list last night. You want to tell the people what it says?
Oh my gosh. Well, first off, I want to say I love that you're making a list. So the list is titled Maybe Okie Dokie. So CJ has started a list for films to maybe cover on.
I cropped it,
Okie Dokie.
But I wanted to show you more than just that one, so you understood it was funny. The list.
Yeah. First, I want to say love that you're starting that list. I have one going in my phone as well that I revisit pretty much anytime I'm picking. Movie number 2. I can see 3 of the films here. Movie number 2, The Sandlot.
Yeah, I was like, well, fuck. Okay, he guessed
you
a
got
specific
fucking
film.
Sniped.
Yeah. All right, so that's your guess.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. No, that you literally said that, and I was like, what?
No shot.
Yeah, no shot. Fucking
that's hilarious.
Me.
That's so great. So great. I guess my mind, and this kind of goes in hand with the next question, which is guess a specific director to be featured this year. Now, we have covered Coen brothers in the past, so I'm not sure if I would personally guess Coen brothers for specific director. Just in terms of personally what I would want to guess. But in terms of specific films, I personally think a Coen brothers pick would be strong. I was thinking like, it might be interesting if we watched something like Fargo or ended up watching something that is, Hail Caesar. I know that's one that you love. So,
it's so funny.
I'm thinking that
I like that movie. I've only seen it once.
I just feel like you bring it up a lot.
I think there's a couple of scenes in that movie that make me laugh, but I've only seen it once.
Okay. How about you? What do you think are some films that might be featured this year?
Okay, so I feel like for director, I feel like Kubrick is going to make an appearance this year.
Oh, good guess. Good guess.
Yeah. I know how fond you are of The Shining.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one of the greatest films ever made.
Yes. I think I've seen every part of The Shining in one way or another, but I've never watched the movie in its totality. But I mean, there's lots to pick from in terms of like, you have Doctor Strangelove, you have Spartacus, you have 2001, you have Clockwork Orange, you have Full Metal Jacket. So you have lots of choices to choose from for Kubrick. I think Kubrick will make an appearance this year. Man, if I had to guess a specific film for you, I definitely think you're gonna hit me. I'm not saying like I think you're gonna challenge me with some thrillers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe try to push me out of my comfort zone a little bit. Man, what's a good one? I was going to my letterbox, but I got signed out of letterbox. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go with The Shining. I think I'll predict that The Shining makes an appearance.
Okay, so you're kind of double dipping with Shining and Kubrick.
Yeah.
You think if not The Shining, then Kubrick in some degree?
I think we'll definitely see Kubrick this year.
Okay.
I'm less sure about The Shining.
Okay. It's interesting. That's very interesting. While you're sitting here thinking as well, I think similar to Kubrick in terms of renown and maybe testing some limits, I think Hitchcock is interesting in terms of discussion, especially because of his importance historically to film. But someone who popped in my mind, I pulled up a list of just big name directors and I was looking like, yeah, Spielberg, we've covered him once. Maybe he'll come up again. Scorsese, so many classic Scorsese films, Ridley Scott, James Cameron, but someone who I was like, ooh, I don't know why, but I just feel like I could see CJ picking a movie by them. Maybe Spike Lee.
Okay. All right.
Maybe Spike Lee.
Okay. Yeah. What Spike Lee movie would I pick?
I don't know. The thing that I love about this is we're definitely going to be forgetting entirely about this conversation later in the year. And then I'm sure we'll revisit some of these predictions next year when we're doing this episode. And we'll be like, oh, so these were our official predictions. These are what we said in conversation. Holy shit, we called ourselves out in this way or that way.
Oh, yeah. And you know what the best part is? Like, this is like a routine part of the podcast. You know this, but I don't know if everyone else does. I forget what movie we're watching all the fucking time.
Almost every week I get a message. What are we watching today?
Yeah. And it's not a put on. Sometimes we get on and he won't tell me.
Today you're lucky I gave you as many details as I did.
Can I tell you that still didn't tell me?
So CJ messaged me today just before noon my time. What movie is it today again? So I said, the one where Will Ferrell and Tina Fey make a casino in their house.
And then I was like, okay, that's really funny because, obviously that's not the movie. That's what I thought that movie was. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember what movie I thought that movie was. And also, that's not a real movie because it wasn't Tina Fey, but I don't remember who it was.
It was Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler.
Oh,
all right. So listen,
funny.
Listen, okay? You listening? I get it. But, yeah, okay.
All right. Next question. Oldest film and newest film covered.
What movies are coming out in 2026?
Yeah, that's a good question. Is there anything coming out in 2026 that we're going to be like, oh shit, we got to watch this on the podcast? Because, this year was Sinners. I guess last year, Sinners. Man, I don't know. I'm looking through a Wikipedia page,
So we usually wait until a movie is on physical release.
Right.
Or on streaming.
Right.
I could see maybe like Project Hail Mary.
That was what was leaping out at me as well.
Or maybe something like the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Yeah, Project Hail Mary was what leapt out at me too, especially because, you were the one who gifted me that book.
I did.
So it would be kind of full circle coming back to that.
Yeah. They've already shown too much to the people.
100%.
Yeah.
There's also like Clayface, which is a new DCU film coming out later in the year, so that would be something that we would get in probably right before the end of the year. Coyote vs. Acme's coming out next year. I don't know. I guess looking through this, I'm not sure how much I feel strongly about using 2026 as the prediction. So I'm not sure I'm going to say 2026 for newest. I think I might go like 2023 for newest, like somewhere in the, I think early mid 2020s would be a strong spot, but I don't think 2025 or 2026.
All right then.
How about oldest?
All right. Now it gets tricky. I did want to look up the Spike Lee filmography first to see if I would pick a Spike Lee movie. He's been pretty prolific. I might pick Do the Right Thing.
Maybe you might. We'll see.
Yeah. Or Malcolm X. Jungle Fever. How could I forget about Jungle Fever? That's a different that's a different kind of movie. All right. All right. I think it's gonna be, man, how old can we go? I'm trying to think.
Right.
You know what?
I'm ready for you to say like 2003.
1934.
Okay, I like it.
Like,
I think
people are like, the 50s is old? Nah, brother. We're going old.
Hell yeah. 30s is interesting. I was thinking maybe 40s, but all it takes is one. To completely throw it off. I like that. I was thinking, maybe late 40s, but okay. So this is a little more interesting. Instead of just oldest or newest, average year of release. I want to say for last year, what did you find? It was like 1988?
1997.
97. Oh, wow. Oh, 88 was the one we had the most films in.
Yeah.
97. That's so much later than I was anticipating. So I guess part of this question is, will we trend towards older films this year? Because we did have, we had, like we just said, a handful of 88s. We also had a handful of 2023s? We had 2025.
Yeah, we had some 2022s. So
right.
Like our plot graph definitely skewed close to 97. Right. There were outliers on either side. But I think we had a lot of plots like late 80s, 90s, early 2000s. And I don't think that will be drastically different this year, by the way.
No, you think maybe hovering around the mid-late 90s again for average?
I think that there is a certain level here of we can step outside of ourselves and pick things that are important to us that are in different years or different times. But at the same time, we're going to go back and pick a good amount of stuff that is relevant to either the here and now, which means newer, or relevant to us at some point in our lives, and we were both born in the 90s. So I think that that's going to have an effect on the number.
Those are very good points. I think that I generally agree. I do think that I feel like we might trend just a little on the older side. So I personally am going to guess probably somewhere in between 90 to 95 instead of 97.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So here's where we get to some more numbers. Of the 24 films that will be counted, how many will be unanimously okie dokie, unanimously nokie dokie, and how many will there be a split vote? This one is the most stab in the dark out of all of them.
Oh, yeah. I think we're going to have 5 no's and 4 splits.
5 nokie dokies, 4 splits, so 15 unanimous yes.
I think so.
Shit, that's a really good one. You
can steal it if you want.
I think I'm gonna go 16 unanimously I'm going to say 24 unanimously Noki Doki. 16 unanimously Okie Dokie. I'm going to say 5 no's. So that leaves us at 3 splits. I think we're going to be real positive this year. I'm optimistic. Wow. Well, we will see how we do. And of course, those are not our official predictions, just a bit of brainstorming, spitballing.
Mm-hmm.
But one final thing we need to really touch on before we get into the movie today.
I don't even know what that is.
Do you want to read that or no?
Freehole.
Yes, freehole. Bean. That is Spanish for the word bean. CJ, Killer Bean Forever. I totally forgot to ask you last time. Now, I put it in our show notes as freehole because I know you don't know Spanish, so I knew that this would be a great way to remember to talk about it without reminding you and making you start brainstorming in advance how you're going to get out of this.
Okay. I'm going to
Killer
tell the
Bean
people
Forever.
what happened, okay? At least let me tell them what happened.
Okay.
So I sat down to watch the movie.
The movie we've talked about multiple times, right?
Killer Bean Forever. Yes, I know that we talked about it multiple times. You almost didn't believe me that this happened.
I am still unsure if I do.
Well, I really did watch it, sort of. So I sat down and I'm like, what movie was it again? And so I sat down on my couch and I'm on my phone and I couldn't find it in the messages. And so I was like, yeah, it's Bean. It's free on YouTube. That's what he said. So I'm like, all right, the Bean movie. So I type in Bean movie and it's free and it's like Mr. Bean's Holiday. And so I'm like, okay. All right. So I just hit play. So I watched 3/4 of Mr. Bean's Holiday and then I'm like, oh, it was the coffee bean thing. He did not believe me when I told him.
God. I genuinely am unsure if I still do. So I do have questions.
You know I
first.
forget.
First, how did you like Mr. Bean's Holiday?
Well, it was all right, actually.
How do you like Mr. Bean in general?
Can I tell you what I was actually going to do?
Yeah.
This would have been so much worse. I was like, what if I just sit down and when I'm doing it, I'll record myself doing the companion track and we'll upload the punishment as its own thing. And then can you imagine if I had done all that work for Mr. Bean's Holiday?
Oh my God. That would have been legendary.
That would have been bad. That would have been really bad.
Oh my gosh. So funny.
So yeah, Mr. Bean good. And that means that I've earned another punishment film.
CJ, I don't know if you remember this. You've earned 2 other punishment films.
Why have I earned 2?
Because you don't remember us? We negotiated and you were like 1 punishment. I said 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And you relented and said you would do 2 punishment films.
Okay.
So would you like to hear what the other 2 films are? So I guess
how long do I have for this?
Yeah, I was gonna say first maybe we should set some deadlines. How about Killer Bean Forever due by the end of December, the other 2 by the end of January?
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. Killer Bean Forever by the end of December. The 2 movies you must watch by the end of January. And I think one of these functions as extra punishment because it's in January. The first of the 2 is Home Sweet Home Alone.
What?
This Home Sweet Home Alone is a 2021 straight to streaming film. It is the, I think, 5th movie in the Home Alone franchise, 6th movie in the Home Alone franchise. Went straight to streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu. It stars Ellie Kemper, Rob Delaney, and Archie Yates, who is one of the kids from Jojo Rabbit.
Okay, all right. Is he the funny kid?
Yes, he's like the sidekick kid, the dark-haired kid.
Yeah.
So that's your first one. And I will send these to you in text so you will not forget. Home Sweet Home Alone 2021.
Send me Killer Bean as well.
Killer Bean Forever.
All right.
I'm going to write due end of December. I'm also going to type punishment films so that you can easily search for that and find it.
Okay.
Editing the Home Sweet Home Alone due by end of January. Then the second punishment film, I'm typing it right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you read it.
All right. Oh, no! War of the Worlds!
2025, baby! So
I feel like an angry Muppet.
I greatly look forward to hearing your thoughts, not just on Killer Bean Forever, because genuinely, just spoiling my thoughts on Killer Bean Forever a little bit, very fun. And I was really looking forward to chatting with you about it. But now the punishment must be enacted. So Home Sweet Home Alone, very panned film. War of the Worlds, one of the worst films I've ever seen. Granted, a really, really fun hate watch. So we will check in on those through the next couple episodes.
All right, there we go then.
Well, CJ, let's put that in the past. Are you ready to talk about the movie we are watching today?
Boy, am I.
All right. We are watching Game Night. CJ, what do you know about this one?
That it isn't a movie starring Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler where they open a casino in their house. That it's not that movie.
Correct. And knowing yourself or knowing you, you typically like to go into movies as blind as you can. So I won't spoil too much. I'll just say directed by John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein, who also went on to make the recent Dungeons and Dragons film. I don't even really want to say who's in this, though. Written by Mark Perez. But CJ, how about, or I guess I'll talk briefly to my experience. I had not seen this at all. I was staying with my sister and brother-in-law for a week between moves. I had like a week between my lease end and lease start, so they let me stay in their basement. And one night we watched this. They're like, "Oh, Tommy, you haven't seen this? Let's sit down and watch that." And then I watched it again about a year and a half, 2 years ago with Jade. And yeah, this made it onto my Okie Dokie cover on Okie Dokie list pretty early on. So I'm excited to finally scratch this off and watch it with you. But do you want to take off your headphones and I'll make the prediction for how you will like this?
Yes, I'll take them off right now.
All right. So I think that CJ is going to be namely surprised by who is in this, specifically Jesse Plemons and the role he plays. I know CJ's a big fan of Jesse Plemons, and I do think this is one of his best roles because his comedic timing is incredible, actually incredible. But yeah, I think CJ's gonna like this. I think that there's gonna be a couple parts that CJ's gonna go like, "Oh, why are we doing this?" Specifically, a part trying to extract a bullet. But I think generally CJ's gonna appreciate this. I think that it has some pretty solid cinematography at times and direction. And yeah, I think CJ's gonna give it an okie dokie. All right, let me tell CJ, get on back here.
I'm back.
All right. So CJ, you got anything for us to add before getting into this?
No, I think I'm going in completely blind.
Awesome. Well, if you would like to watch this movie alongside us, you can check out the commentary track linked in the description and do that. Otherwise, you can keep on listening. But if you want to watch alongside us, you can pause the podcast right now.
Will you? Will you marry me?
Yeah.
Is that a yes? That's a yes.
I'm really happy for you guys.
Do you know people are like that game couple?
Not to this degree. I'm sure people would say that Jade and I are these people, but this is like their entire relationship is fucking psychopathic competitive. Do you know people like this?
Yeah, you and Jade.
Great. There's a snap. Here's the hole. Hello there.
Hi, Gary.
Just checking the mail. Oh yeah. Some people.
Oh my God, it's him! Jesus, he did it. Tommy, he did it. It's him.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what happens in this movie. So far, I think it's about semen count, but he did it. Also, does this whole movie have a yellow filter on it?
Opportunity to urinate.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the post show for The Film is Okie Dokie. We just watched Game Night a week ago. CJ, how you doing in the past week?
Good. Today's been a very busy day. I had a
Busy
lot of...
how? Like a clown?
No, yeah, busy how? I'm here to fucking be busy for you? Busy how? Why the fuck am I busy? In the Google Docs drop table, you're an anonymous leopard today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You are a anonymous dragon, so I think you win this fight.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah, I had 6 meetings today in a row, and one of them did cancel, which sucked.
Nice.
But honestly, today I needed it, so it
That
was all right.
sounds miserable.
Yeah, well then, you got to do all the notes afterwards. You got to log it. You got to put it in your CRM. You got to, put it in all the different spreadsheets. So it's not just as simple as...
You got to make sure it's done by EOD with the KPI and the PTO.
Yeah, sure. So then you got to send everybody emails too. So it was just a whole fucking thing, but we're good. And tomorrow I'm driving to New Hampshire.
Nice. Your favorite state.
Yep, my favorite state. Yep. So
the one that's 69ing Vermont.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you remember.
Of course. My entire memory database is related to 69 somehow,
It's all about orientation with you.
Exactly.
I remember the Vermont is the V one.
Yes. And then New Hampshire is the one 69ing Vermont.
Yeah, well, you don't need to remember New Hampshire as long as you remember Vermont.
Well,
all right.
Okay.
We don't have to listen. Let's not beat this dead horse.
Let's not sit here and do our Abbott and Costello routine about who is 69ing who. I don't know. No, he's 69ing. Why?
I don't know. Third base.
Okay, before we get too off task, just wanted to give everyone a reminder. Again, here is your reminder to go and fill out your 2026 The Film is Okie Dokie prediction ballot. It is linked in the description. Please fill it out before you hear the reveal of what we will be watching on the next episode. I guess the next of next. We'll cover that later. And again, your last day to submit is January 29th. So if you look at the calendar and it says someday before January 29th, or it is the 29th, go and submit. Now, there is one category that we didn't cover in the pre-show that while we were talking over Game Night, we realized, oh, shoot, wait, that should be a category too. CJ, do you remember which one this was?
I wish I did.
We talked about, making predictions for directors, but we didn't make any predictions for specific actors who would show up. So do you have, just again, these aren't our locked in predictions, but just floating around that idea, any actors you could see us covering in the new year?
I was thinking that we'll get some De Niro. I think De Niro will show up. And,
okay.
It seems impossible to have a year go by and have no Danny DeVito.
See, I thought you were going to say John Turturro.
Well, that would be tipping my hand, wouldn't it? I will say it does seem likely that we will probably watch something from Rob Reiner this year now.
Yeah, possibly. Jade and I just watched This Is Spinal Tap last night because of Rob Reiner's passing.
Oh, yeah. I not to make it downbeat, but it's a horrible tragedy.
Yeah.
And for my money, I think Rob Reiner has as good of a directorial stretch as anybody has ever had. Specifically like in the 80s and the 90s, I think he just was just gold. So shout out to Rob Reiner. Like we said, just a terrible tragedy. You can look it up if you're interested.
If you've somehow not heard the news by the time this is coming out. So getting back to talking about actors, we brought this up because we had floated the idea of Denzel, because Denzel Washington comes up in game night, and we were like, oh, wait, we haven't done any Denzel films. And that's kind of how the ball got rolling on that. But I also wanted to bring this up because I just learned like yesterday of a feature on Letterboxd where if you make a list on Letterboxd, like I recently did for the film is Okie Dokie, and you also have a Patreon or Pro subscription to the site, which I do, you can view stats for that list. So in a way, I'm able to like view stats for all of the films that we've watched together.
Interesting. Okay.
So part of this is, I guess I should say, first I have the list of all of our films, and then I also separated it and did a list for just 2025. But for all of our films, there is one actor who has been covered more than any other. I'll give you a couple hints. I say one actor specifically because if you look at just the 2025, it's a tie. There's a bunch of actors who are in 2 movies that we covered. But if you look at all of our movies, there's only one actor who's been in 3 movies that we've covered.
Interesting.
Any guesses?
Interesting. Okay. All right. Who's been in multiple Okie Dokie movies?
I'm going to say right now, my jaw would be on the floor if you guessed this person, because I never would have guessed. I don't think they would have even crossed my mind.
Okay. So you're saying unlikely that I'm going to guess this.
Yes.
All right. All right. Let's see. So Bruce Willis has been in 2 at least.
Yes, he has.
Right off the bat.
Yes.
John Wayne's been in 2.
Uh-huh.
Jeff Bridges has been in 2.
Uh-huh. How about this? While you think, I'm going to list a bunch of people who have been in 2, because I don't think that's gonna, you know. Richard Attenborough, Billy Bob Thornton, Steve Buscemi, Charlton Heston, John Turturro, John Wayne, Jason Bateman, Jeff Goldblum, Ben Stiller, Joseph Mazzello, Ward Bond, Samuel L. Jackson, Ian Abercrombie, Bruce Willis, Julianne Moore, Jeff Bridges, Leon Russum, Rachel McAdams, Robert Mitchum, Tina Fey, Gene Hackman, Sam Elliott, Harry Carey Jr., Colin Farrell, Buck Taylor, Thomas Arena, Christian Clemenson, Haley Steinfeld, Ann Cusack, Anna Gasteyer, Ariana Richards, Griselle Beauvais, Mary Ellen Trainor, Stella Hall, Barry Keoghan. These, just to name, there's more as well that I didn't list, but all of those people have been in 2 films, but only one has been in 3. Someone I did not name.
Damn, and you named a list.
Mm-hmm.
That was...
If you'd like, I can give you, how about this? I'll give you one of the films that this person is in.
Okay, my question, will this not give it away?
I don't think so.
Okay.
One film that this person is in.
All right, go ahead.
Armageddon. I am ready to give you either of the other 2 when you're ready for your next clue.
Is this like a main actor?
I wouldn't say main, but you know,
they appear.
He's a known actor. It's not like this is gonna be like a random ass extra who has a quarter line in both films.
This is somebody I would know.
I would say you know them in that when I say them, you're gonna go, oh, that guy. They're of the pedigree where I would be shocked if you thought of them.
They're of the pedigree. Would be shocked if I thought of them. Let's see. I'm really trying to get this. I don't know if this is good podcasting content, but I'm really like racking my brain trying to get this. Okay, give me one of the other movies.
The Big Lebowski.
Not Buscemi, is it?
No, he was in 2 films. Those being the 2 that I've listed, yeah.
Okay. Was Armageddon the 2024 film?
No, Armageddon was the 2000 or 1998 film.
No. Sorry. I thought. Okay, never mind.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I believe so. Yes, it was.
Is it Sam Elliott?
No, I like the guess though. I do like the guess.
All right, I get one more guess. Okay, Big Lebowski. Okay, I'm okay. Oh my god. Okay, I don't know what his name is. Okay.
Okay.
He was the Russian astronaut in Armageddon.
Uh-huh.
That guy.
Uh-huh. He is the Russian astronaut in Armageddon, Lev. He is one of the nihilists in The Big Lebowski, and he's the dude who goes to take a
Lost
piss
World.
in the Lost World.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
We are talking about Peter Stormare, the most featured actor on the film is Okie Dokie to date, right?
That's so funny.
Isn't that?
Isn't that the same guy who plays the guy's brother in the beginning of John Wick 2?
I'll take your word for it.
I think that because like the first movie he fights the guy and his son in the beginning of the movie where he's like killing everybody in the bus depot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his brother.
Okay. I believe you. Just to run through a few other stats. I know that we've done a lot of retrospective this episode and last episode, so I just want to run through a few other stats that we wouldn't really have access to before this point. So for the film is Okie Dokie, overall, the highest rated movie on average on Letterboxd is Some Like It Hot. The lowest average rating movie on Letterboxd is Wild Wild West.
Oh!
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. I thought for sure it'd be That's My Boy.
No, surprisingly, Wild Wild West. The most popular film on Letterboxd that we've done, Sinners. And the most obscure film we've done. You want to take a stab at this one?
Chicken Run?
No.
Is it obscure because it's old?
Nah, I mean, I'm not going to say it's crazy old. It's obscure in that I doubt most people have heard of it.
Meet the Feebles.
No, surprisingly. Renaissance Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The newest one we covered was Sinners. Oldest was The Quiet Man. The longest film we covered was The Batman.
Yes.
At 177 minutes. And then the shortest was Chicken Run at 84 minutes. A few other stats. We've watched 6 films where Dan O'Connell did sound design on it. Those being Muppet Christmas Carol, Tombstone, Armageddon, Wild Wild West, Gladiator, and Megamind. We've done 3 films for both Hans Zimmer and Carter Burwell. They are our most appeared composers. And we've done 3 films that Francine Maisler has casted, which is the most of all. So, yeah, there's a lot more here. I could really start digging into this, but, like I said, we've already done a lot of retrospection. Maybe next year we'll use this as the central point for a lot of our retrospective for the year.
Yeah. No, that would work.
Here's one final stat. Sorry, I just found one. So there's also a themes and nano genres breakdown. Our most common themes at 16 films, crude humor and satire. 12 films, gags, jokes, and slapstick humor. 8 films, funny jokes and crude humor. So definitely a through line of those 3 themes. I say themes with air quotes. nano genres, 5 films for gag, outrageous, wild. And then there's a bunch tied for second at 4 films. So seems like we've got a penchant for gags, CJ.
Here's my question to you.
Yeah.
We've done a sequel on the show, right? We did The Lost World.
Uh-huh.
We also did a sequel without having done the first movie. Although
yes.
But it was different in that it wasn't a numbered sequel, right? Like, you don't need to know the plot of Knives Out to know or appreciate or understand Glass Onion, right?
Right.
Would we ever have a situation where we would pick a sequel, a numbered sequel, without having first watched the movie before it?
Like we watched Baby Geniuses 3 or some shit like that?
Yeah, it's weird that you went right to that, but yes.
What? I've just always got that movie locked and loaded in my mind. You don't?
No, never. Not until just this moment, actually.
I mean, I could see it. I could see us doing it, especially for something kind of like The Bit, you know? Of picking like a really random ass sequel. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think that it would be fun to do something like that, especially if we pick something that we're just thrown into the deep end and we have no context for.
Okay. I've been steadily thinking about what we are going to be doing soon. So
stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, stay tuned to find out.
Yeah. And then one other stat real quick. This is the last one, I promise. So overall, we've watched 34 films now. That totals to 67.1 hours of movies that we've watched together. For just the year 2025, 26 films, 51.5 hours. So yeah, there you go.
Interesting. But a lot of time spent together.
It is. Not enough, some might say.
Well, that doesn't even factor in the time we spend recording.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You are right. But one other thing for us to check in on real quick is, CJ, how's that movie debt coming along?
Listen, I had a busy week.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, you got 2 weeks. End of the month. You got 2 weeks to watch Killer Bean Forever, and you've got a month and a half to watch Home Sweet Home Alone and War of the Worlds 2025.
Yes.
You've got time.
I have a little bit of time.
Well, let's not waste any more time. CJ, you down for us to hop straight into game night now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I guess I'll open the floor to you. What were your general thoughts? What was the impression that it left?
Okay, so obviously I had no idea what movie this was.
Right.
I thought this was the Will Ferrell Tina Fey movie that doesn't exist.
Right.
I know what I was actually thinking of was Amy Poehler.
Yes.
I love Rachel McAdams. I love her. Very excited that she was in it when I realized that was exciting. I like Jason Bateman. But I'll say I hated him I hate the show Arrested Development, and maybe you can understand. I just can't do the cringe of it.
Okay.
But I can't. That show is very funny, but it's so painful for me to watch. So like once I saw who was in it, I was like, oh, this is kind of good. This is good. Okay, this is like a good premise. And then it really like surprised me because I'm like, okay, they're going to come, they're going to take the brother.
Jeez,
right?
It wasn't a porn.
All right, calm down. They're going to come and take the brother, and the brother is the coach from Friday Night Lights.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay. But then it surprised me because it was a little better than I thought that it was going to be, like that premise. And then it kind of twisted twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was layers to it, and I was like, oh, this is actually interesting. And it had a unique visual element to it, which I really have to applaud. Everything is shot so safe these days so that you can just make whatever movie you want to make in editing.
Yeah. If we'll do it in post. We'll do it in post.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, just everything is shot, reverse shot, comedy in the wide, like, you know what I mean? It's just, everything is shot so safe that, like, and I'm not saying this movie, like, goes out and takes chances, but it has a unique style with that tilt shift. And you just, some movies don't even have that, And it was distinct, and it makes everything look like a dollhouse miniature or a game piece. And it added to that. Those establishing shots were great for that, right? And if anything, I wish that they had like one or two more. You know, like for establishing exterior shots, it worked. It was great. It looked good, and I don't love tilt shift. Do you know The Social Network, the movie, the Facebook movie?
The what?
The Social Network.
I've never heard of this movie. What is this? It's about Facebook? Why would they make a movie about Facebook?
You're doing a bit?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So God, I just sniff it out now. I'm like a truffle pig. There's that scene when they're in the river and they're doing the canoe or the crew, the two twins, the Winklevoss twins.
Yes.
And that's tilt shift. And that was like one of the first times I really saw it. And I'm like, this shot looks so fucking weird. It doesn't make sense for the rest of the movie at all. Like, because they never use it again. It's just such a weird idea that's how you'd shoot that, right?
Yeah, it's much more of a motif in this one.
Yeah, and it's an Aaron Sorkin movie, The Social Network. So that movie's always a talkie, right?
Yeah.
Like, here's 600 pages of dialogue. You're going to have to cut out like 400 pages of this. No, you're just going to talk fast. And that's how we're going to do it, right? Like, that's West Wing, that's Newsroom, that's Sunset Boulevard.
Gilmore Girls.
Well, no. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
yeah.
So I appreciated that. Had that motif. It had a visual, distinct style for what could be on the surface appear to be a run-of-the-mill 2010 comedy.
Yes.
And so that gives it a little bit more life. And then the plot actually gives it a little bit more life because it's a little more than I thought it was going to be. Which I thought was interesting and rewarding. Also, Jesse Plemons always makes me uncomfortable, which is amazing. Me and you were talking about it during the movie. I don't think he blinked.
No, he's like the Terminator.
Yeah, and oh my god, and like there was some stuff in there that I personally don't jive with, but I'm not gonna dock it for that because like the scene with the dog, I can never do that. Right. Or like when he's like ruining this room in his shrine and covering the dog in blood.
Yeah,
I'm never going to be able to sit through that. The scene where they cut down the arm.
Yeah, well, before we get
I know,
into the
but
details,
I'm saying, I was saying, I'm not going to dock it for the things I don't like about it, because those are just personal preferences. I actually think this is pretty good. This is better than average. And that's my off the cuff thing about it. What about you?
I'm largely in agreement. I remember seeing the trailer for this film a fair bit when it was first coming out and not really thinking anything of it. And then I spent a week at my sister's between a move and she and my brother-in-law were like, oh, let's watch a movie. And this movie got brought up and I had never seen it. And they're like, oh, Tommy, we got to watch that. Like, this is a good one. And just, I was really pleasantly surprised. It's a really fun, just a really fun movie in period. The cast has a lot of chemistry. Not all of the characters really amount to like a whole lot, but they're there to provide laughs and just bounce off of each other, which it does well. You talked a lot about it, and we'll talk about it later. This movie has a very distinct visual identity that helps lift the whole thing. And it's unpredictable. Like, a lot of times movies make, especially comedies, it always feels like they're making the safe or the obvious joke. And in this one, jokes are made that are interesting, not just in that it's like, oh, that's a clever joke, but interesting in that it affects the plot in a way, or just it doesn't necessarily play it safe with all of the decisions that it makes, which we can appreciate. It's an interesting movie in general. So
yeah,
why don't we hop into the summary? I'll try and keep it generally brief. I won't get bogged down in really many of the bits or anything. And then CJ, as always, please jump in if I'm forgetting anything or not emphasizing the importance of something. But this movie opens with a montage of Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams meeting. They meet at trivia, and they are just both the most competitive people ever. We see, in this montage, them doing game night and being those insufferable friends who have to win at everything. At their wedding, they do DDR. And then we pretty much cut to them at a fertility clinic. Turns out that Jason Bateman, it's heavily implied that Jason Bateman is unable to get Rachel McAdams pregnant because he's stressed because of his older brother. He always feels as though he has to compensate because of his older brother, kind of just diminishing everything he does. Because
when I think about my girlfriend or partner or whatever spouse, I am always thinking about my brother.
Exactly. So we then kind of see them hosting a game night. They host game nights very regularly with their group of friends. In this group of friends, there is Billy Magnuson. He plays kind of their ditzy eye candy friend who his heart's in the right place, but man, is he a dumbass. And ultimately he brings with him as a date to the main game night of this movie, Sharon Horgan, who is playing his coworker, his senior coworker, who's, what's the right word for her?
I mean, she's not
kind of her
a
attitude.
Senior citizen.
No, but she's probably 15, 20 years older than him.
Yeah, earlier he brings a ditzy girl who seems like she's in college.
Yeah.
And they all make fun of him for being someone that works at a mall.
Yes.
And then this woman is got her shit together because he's tired of losing at game night. So he brings her in as a ringer. But the best way to explain it is he looked like he had his life together when he was bringing in girls from the Smoothie King. And then he brings in a grown ass woman who has a mortgage and a 401k. And he spends the rest of the movie being the complete and utter buffoon.
Yes. And generally their energy towards each other is he's doing dumbass shit and she is just kind of above it. Not to say she puts him beneath herself, but she's not putting up with any of his shit. She calls him out on this stuff and they have a lot of banter. That's kind of their deal throughout the movie. Again, that's Billy Magnuson and Sharon Horgan.
I love Sharon Horgan, by the way.
She was really great in this.
She was, and she actually, I'm not trying to get into this, but she had some kind of foxy attitude that made her very oh, okay, I can see why Billy Magnuson wants to get with Sharon Horgan even though he doesn't want to say it.
Well, I'll add to the notes CJ's crush on Sharon Horgan for later if you just want to. If you want the platform to, no. wax poetic on her.
I don't want to wax anything about Sharon Horgan. Okay, go ahead.
And then The other two people in the group, other than those two and then our main couple, are Lamorne Morris and Kylie Bunbury. They are a couple who have been together since like middle school. And through the movie, their whole deal is that at one point they're playing Never Have I Ever, and it was Never Have I Ever slept with a celebrity, and she takes a drink, and it turns out they had a brief break before they got married, and she slept with a celebrity during that period. So the whole time Lamorne Morris is trying to guess what celebrity it was. We can get into the reveal of it all later, but that's our core six. Again, Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams, Billy Magnuson, Sharon Horgan, Lamorne Morris, Kylie Bunbury. And then they also had Jesse Plemons as part of their game night for a long time. He is neighbors to Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman, lives right next door, and he is divorced, kind of recently divorced, though not like weeks ago. It seems like within the past couple years. And he's just kind of a downer. They liked his wife better, so they've kind of tried to stop inviting him to game night. So he's like always observing from his stoop that when people come over, is like, you guys having game night? And just kind of trying to suss out their shit. He's a cop. I think that's a pretty important detail to his character. But like we get the incredible line of them walking in with a big bag filled with like 3 things of tortilla chips. And he's like, oh, you hosting a game night? That's a lot of chips. He goes, no, it was a 3-for-1 deal. And he goes, how could that be profitable for Frito-Lay? Which is all-time line. But anyway, so they are hosting a game night, and this is a special game night because Jason Bateman's older brother, played by Kyle Chandler, is showing up. And pretty much he shows up, is very he doesn't have a care for like any of the rules and everything. He's living life by his own rules. Everyone is supposed to like park around the block and sneak in so Jesse Plemons doesn't see them, and he just pulls right up in a fucking Stingray, ripping the engine, making a show of it. Very, a lot of disregard towards everything. Kind of talking down about their house, just being a braggart in general. He is his job. Do you remember what his job is? I'm going to assume CJ's in the bathroom. So he's bragging about his job, always talking about how much money he makes. And they do game night, and he absolutely kills Jason Bateman in it. Jason Bateman completely flounders. It's like, oh, wow, this is a really big issue. And Rachel McAdams is like, oh, my gosh, wait, your brother is a problem, because she didn't really see it before. But a week later, Kyle Chandler is now hosting a game night. And this game night, he's like, I hired a company. They're going to come, and it's going to be like a kidnapping murder mystery. And Jeffrey Wright shows up and is like beginning the game, running through all the rules, asking if people have food allergies. But suddenly, two masked men break into the house and beat up Jeffrey Wright and have this big prolonged fight with Kyle Chandler and kidnap him. The whole time, the rest of the crew are sitting there like, wow, this is great production value, snacking and whatnot, like not getting involved because they think it's all a show. Kyle Chandler gets kidnapped, and then the rest of them are like, all right, let's begin the mystery. Let's figure out where it is. So they all have clues, and they're trying to figure out where to go. Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams just pull up Kyle Chandler's location on his phone because Jason Bateman and him have location sharing turned on. And they follow them to a bar where they find Kyle Chandler. Kyle Chandler, when the house got broken into, had taken a gun out of his like ankle or whatever. So Rachel McAdams has the gun. They think it's a fake gun. So they show up at this bar, and like she's like taught like so daintily like waving the gun around and taking pictures with it in her mouth, not realizing it's a real gun. And they more or less hold these dudes hostage and get Kyle Chandler from the bar, and they all hop in the car, and Kyle Chandler's like, no guys, you got it wrong. This is actually real. My job isn't whatever the fuck my job actually is. I work in the black market, and I sold I've sold a Fabergé egg out from under a dude. It was supposed to be his, and I sold it to someone else for 3 times as much money. But the dude who I was supposed to sell it to is super dangerous. That's kind of what this amounts to. So they have this whole car chase. Jason Bateman accidentally gets shot. That's when they realize the gun is real. She like accidentally shoots the ceiling and then drops the gun, and the bullet like shoots Jason Bateman in the arm. And they have this big old chase, and ultimately Kyle Chandler ends up hopping out of the car so that they won't get roped into this. They try and Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman try and bandage up his arm and remove the bullet, only to realize that the bullet there's an exit wound and it exited his arm, so there is no bullet to remove. This is after like making a 6-inch incision on his forearm. And it's at around like while this is all going on, the other 2 couples are doing their things. Lamorne Morris and Kylie Bunbury are, they're struggling to really get any clues because they got locked in the house at one point. Billy Magnuson and Sharon Horgan they tracked down the company that puts on these mysteries and went straight to them to just bribe them for the final clue. And at this point, they all kind of meet back up, and they get all caught up, and they're like, okay, he's kidnapped. This is real. How can we track down this guy, the Bulgarian, as well as one other dude, that was name dropped? How can we track down who these people are and maybe find this Fabergé egg, find Kyle Chandler, get him back? So Billy Magnuson brings up that he used to date this woman whose dad was a cop, so he knows a lot about cop systems. He's like, oh, if we had access to a police computer, we would be able to look up any aliases and known locations, known associations. So they end up going to Jesse Plemons's to host have him host an impromptu game night. While they're there, Jason Bateman sneaks away to go access his police computer. They really get to see the extent of Jesse Plemons not being over his wife. He has like this entire shrine to his wife. I think her name's like Debbie or something.
Yeah.
Entire shrine to her. And while he's trying to access the police computer in the other room, while he says he's going to the bathroom, he gets the information they need, but his bullet wound is dripping blood all over the carpet. And then Jesse Plemons' white little dog named Bastion walks into the room, gets blood dripped all over him. So like Jason Bateman is trying to clean it, just gets blood coated even more on the dog. The dog shakes it off. Blood splatters everywhere across the room, all over the shrine. But he's got the information. They're like, oh, we got to go. So they leave in a hurry. We don't get to see Jesse Plemons' reaction to the blood-soaked room. But they go to this mansion where the dude who who Kyle Chandler sold the Fabergé egg to, it's where he lives. So their plan is to get the Fabergé egg to hopefully trade it for Kyle Chandler to the dangerous dude, the Bulgarian. So they show up at this mansion. Turns out there's like a fight club going on there in the basement, which is like a joke that's been set up the whole time by Billy Magnuson talking about how rich people do fight clubs with poor people and bet on them. It's while we're here that we get the reveal of who Kylie Bunbury slept with, the celebrity. Turns out that it's Denzel Washington, but when recounting the story, Lamorne Morris is like, that wasn't Denzel. And she's like, yeah, it was. And she shows a picture. It was not Denzel. And he's like, did the dude say he was Denzel? And she's like, no, like he started to say his name and I cut him off because I was like, I know who you are. Very clearly, like all of the details, it's not Denzel. So Lamorne Morris gets a laugh out of it. She was just in denial the whole time. But ultimately, they end up finding the Fabergé egg in the basement, in a safe in the basement where the fight club is going on. Billy Magnuson's like, oh, I'm just going to walk over and take it. And that leads to everyone at the party being like, so who is this guy? Anyone know this guy? Because they see him take the egg. They start getting chased by the huge fighter dudes. It leads to this pretty long sequence that's stitched together to look like a oneer of them running around and playing hot potato with the Fabergé egg in the house. And like it almost breaks a couple times. It's super close. They eventually escape. They're all driving away in the minivan. And they're like, okay, we are going to go and meet Kyle Chandler and whoever kidnapped him at this bridge. And they're driving to it. And they're like, where is this bridge? Where is this bridge? And they're like, oh, wait, there it is on the left. So Lamorne Morris, who's driving, slams on the brakes. The Fabergé egg goes flying out of whoever's holding it in the back. I think it's Rachel McAdams or Jason Bateman's hand. Just completely shatters when it hits the windshield. So they're like, oh, my God, I can't believe we just broke the Fabergé egg we were going to trade for my brother's life. Turns out, though, that it's not the Fabergé egg that was important, because the Fabergé egg was actually made in China. It was this cheap thing. There's a WITSEC list, a list of people in witness protection program inside of the egg. That's actually what was being sold. So they show up to this bridge. The dudes are holding them at gunpoint. And then all of a sudden, Jesse Plemons shows up and he shoots the dudes who are holding them hostage, and Jesse Plemons saves the day. But then, oh no, he gets shot and he's dying. And he's like, just promise me that you'll, they're like comforting him in his dying moments. Like, you're going to be all right. We'll always invite you to game night. He's like, for real? You would always invite me to game night? And then he reveals this was all a setup. They were blood capsules and squibs. The dudes who kidnapped Kyle Chandler were actually like felons who were good actors who he hired to shave some time off their parole. This was all a setup. And they're like, whoa, wait, this was the big twist. Like, the game night was actually put together by Jesse Plemons, but all of a sudden, oh my gosh, oh no, he got shot for real this time. Oh no, the Bulgarian shows up, because turns out the Bulgarian is real. So it was like a game night within a game night. The initial kidnapping was the one that Jesse Plemons put together, but they did end up getting wrapped up in this whole Bulgarian Fabergé egg thing, because that is real. Kyle Chandler is a real black marketer. All of that stuff was legit. So they're all wrapped up in this. The Bulgarian is played by Michael C. Hall, Dexter's own, who shows up. And Kyle Chandler eats the WITSEC list to buy himself time, because he's like, if I just hand it over, he's just going to shoot me. So Michael C. Hall takes Kyle Chandler, who has eaten the WITSEC list, takes him to an airplane, like a private airport, and the plan is to cut him open and take it out. Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams show up. There was kind of this moment on the bridge where Kyle Chandler and Jason Bateman finally connect. They get over what, all of this competitiveness between them. Kyle Chandler gives him the Corvette that the Corvette was supposed to be the prize for the night. So now Jason Bateman's driving this Stingray, and they show up to the airport in the Corvette. They crash into one of the airplane's tires, so it can't take off. And pretty much then it's like this little showdown of Michael C. Hall's in the plane with Kyle Chandler. They're trying to get in there and save him. They have to dispatch of one of his like big old grunts who's guarding them. The dude ends up getting sucked into an airplane engine. Ultimately, they're able to save him. There's like some game stuff involved, like doing charades. And then the resolution for the movie is like they are able to tie up Michael C. Hall. Kyle Chandler goes into house arrest, and they're hosting game night. He's now dating the fertility doctor from the start of the movie. And at the end of the movie, they're all having game night together. And Rachel McAdams reveals through charades that she is pregnant. They're finally having a baby. Jesse Plemons is there. He is now part of game night again. Sharon Horgan has stuck around all these months later. But then the movie ends with we pan out to outside and someone's putting on a bandana and cocking a gun. So it's like, oh boy, here we go again, another game night. And then the end credits is we get to see Jesse Plemons's his basement, where it's all like, Pepe da Silvia red string connecting all of his planning for the game night and all of the practice and stuff that he put into things and all of these little details that tie into things earlier. But yeah, that is Game Night 2018. CJ, anything important that I didn't touch on?
I think you hit the broad strokes.
Awesome. Well, let's start talking about some specific brush strokes then.
All right, I have a complaint that I call Titanic problems.
Okay.
Which is, in the movie The Titanic, the ship is sinking, right?
Yeah.
And where should you be if a boat is sinking? Should you be
at the bottom, as deep in the boat as you can be?
Yes. That's the worst place you can be. That's correct. In that movie, this is what the back half of that movie is like. Jack, Rose! And then they run into the ship. They find new ways to walk into the ship for no fucking reason. Over and over and over again.
It's because Billy Zane is chasing them.
But the only place you can't go is in the ship.
Oh, they got time. That
No.
ship sank slow. They got time.
It's just dumb. And so this movie has a little bit of that, where it's like,
what part
Kyle
makes you feel
Chandler,
that way?
don't follow me. Don't follow me. I'm going to be okay. That happens twice. One time when he bails out of the car when they rescue him the first time. And the second time, he's like, I eat the list. And then Michael C. Hall's like, okay, take him. And then he doesn't kill anybody, right? Because also, he doesn't need to take him anywhere. He could cut him open right there. He can punch him in the stomach and make him throw up the list. Also, it's a piece of paper. It's not coming out as a list, right? It's you're pooping that. That's poop now. It's not going to be a legible piece of paper.
So are
Like,
you saying you're
your body
intimately
can
familiar?
process roughage? That's like writing a list on a hamburger.
This is a good point. This is a good point. I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly how paper is digested, but I'll believe you.
Like, I'm not saying I'm an expert either, but one, it's not dry in your stomach, and two, like, you're, of course, so anyway, so twice they go back inside the Titanic, and I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing, and why are we doing it? Why is this guy, oh, I gotta protect my brother. Like, Michael C. Hall has no reason to not kill everybody on the freeway. If he was gonna do it before you ate it, he's gonna do it after you eat it. He only needs you, right? That's my thing.
We love our slightly benevolent Bulgarian, though.
No, but if he was slightly benevolent before he ate the list, he was that way after. So he was never gonna kill you all. Just give him the fucking list.
Well, he was gonna kill Kyle Chandler, of course.
Yeah. So I'm just like, okay. So I didn't love that. That was one pain point.
I hear you. I don't think that just kind of adding on to that, I do think that one of the weaker aspects of this is kind of how the plot carries on like that. It works perfectly well as a conduit for everything else that this movie is doing, be it all the jokes and the fun fun camera work. But it does, it does go on a bit extra, and some decisions feel pretty redundant at times.
Right. So, like, I'll get a little deeper into this. People get angry because in a movie, the main character doesn't do the optimal thing, right? The main character makes mistakes, right? Or makes a silly decision, a dumb decision, right? And that's how you get conflict. If they did everything right, you don't have a movie, right? So you have to have somebody who's flawed, that's going to make he's going to make mistakes, right? That's the first thing. So I'm not saying they have to constantly make always the number one correct choice, right? They can make mistakes. They can react in the moment. We have the benefit of it being a movie and they're acting, but like, if you believe it, they're characters in a movie, like they're telling the story, whatever, right? They have to think it's real. They have to feel that it's real. Where it loses me is when there's no reason any person would ever do this, okay? If you call the cops, we're going to kill your brother. Okay, fine. That is the impetus for, like, every single reason why no one ever calls the cops in these movies, ever. I have been pulled over in my own driveway. Okay? Right? There are people in this movie getting shot outside of restaurants and bars. There's shootouts on the fucking highway with blanks, and nary a police officer shows up. Right? Like, okay.
I'm sorry. One police officer named Jesse Plemons
who
shows
planned the whole fucking thing. This was his whole plan, was to get an invite back to game night. They say...
CJ, I believe it was an abandoned bridge and definitely a seedy part of town where they were shooting at originally.
They say that the only character in a story that can affect the outcome is the main character. The main character gets to make decisions from their own psychology, and everybody else in the play, the movie, the show is reacting to the choices of the main character, right? Which, whatever. You can choose to believe that, you can choose to not. It's an interesting thing to think about. Like, in the case of Breaking Bad, everybody in that show is reacting to what Walter White decides to do, right? In this show, they're reacting to what Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams decide to do. Because they're like, oh no, we're going to go with you. I'm sorry. And, like, this maybe applies to everybody else except you and Jade. If you call me, not you two. If you call me and are like, all right, my brother's been kidnapped. Jade's brother's been kidnapped. We can't call the police. Do you want to break into a rich guy's house to steal an egg? That answer's going to be no for everybody except maybe the two of you. And then I'm going to be like, we've really exhausted all of our options. The only option left is to steal the fucking egg. I've never snuck into anywhere before. No one's ever accused me of being sneaky. I'm just, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, they all go along with it. Even Horgan, Sharon Horgan, why the fuck did she come? They write it off in one line where it's like, oh, well, I was kind of wanted to see where it goes, and I didn't want to leave in the middle. Everybody would leave in the middle. Everybody would leave in the middle. The second there's guns, I'm out, dude. Wow. I'm not trying to die.
You know, I think that that's just a testament that the characters in this film are built of a different moral fiber and iron will than you are.
Wish I could kick you in the shins.
Oh, no, I totally hear what you're saying. But CJ, I got a little word for you.
Verisimilitude? Yeah. No, I suspended disbelief, and I like this movie. It's something that bothers me basically all the time. It's just like, guys, this is going to sound crazy. We need to find this peanut in this pile of elephant shit. That's the only way. Huh? All right, well, we're 6 of your best friends. We're in. Okay. All right, damn, y'all didn't even need to be convinced. They just volunteered.
I'm in some deep shit. It's going to be horrible. One of us is going to die. Say less. I'm in.
They had to dig the peanuts out of my shit, Pilgrim.
No, I totally get what you're saying. That's so funny, though.
Yeah. Did you ever see Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah, I actually watched it very recently. Remember I wrecked it?
Oh, that's right. Was that for the first time?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I was quoting Joker in that movie.
Pilgrim. Oh, when he's doing his
when he meets Animal Mother for the first time.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, get the peanuts out of my shit."
Oh man. Okay, so
back to game night.
Let's talk a bit about the camera work and visual identity again, and just the cinematography in general, because it is there is a lot more than just the tilt shots too that kind of contribute to not just setting this apart as just a run-of-the-mill comedy, but also a lot of the times the camera work does contribute towards the jokes. Like there's the scene where Billy Magnuson and Sharon Horgan go to the storefront for the office for the murder mystery company, and they're trying to bribe Chelsea Peretti, who's working there, and Billy Magnuson only has like $17 in his wallet. And the way he's bribing her is by putting he puts the 10 on the table and he slides it over super slowly. And after he slid it like 3/4 of the way, we have a top down shot of it slowly sliding into frame. And they do that twice more and it's like full length. And then for the last one, they're doing it and they cut to the top down camera. That's again a bit unique. And it's like coming in crooked. It's halfway in by the time they're just like, fucking stop, dude. It doesn't matter how slow you slide it. Mm-hmm. So just like, the camera contributing to the joke there. The tilt shots we've talked about. Sometimes the camera is just dynamic in its movements. Like when they're playing charades early on and Kyle Chandler shows up. They flip the little sand timer. And every time they interact with it, like the camera whips, like zooms in and whips around it, like it's this, almost like it's a totem from like Inception, right? So just like adding a lot of weight and a tactile feel to the games themselves. There's the one part where they're at the bar where they're rescuing Kyle Chandler. And they lock themselves in the storeroom with him to keep the dudes out. And the one dude is he breaks a window and he's trying to hit the lock open. And as he's hitting the lock and the lock is flicking clockwise, the camera is rotating with the lock. There's the whole chase sequence where they are being chased by this. It's right after this, they're being chased by the dudes in the van. And they have that trailing shot behind the van where it's stabilized onto the vans where the van is perfectly still in the frame. I remember us calling that out in the moment. We both particularly liked that. There's also the egg scene. I talked about how they stitch it together to be like a oneer. And, the hot potato-ness of it, it doesn't need to be anything more than just some fixed camera angles, but they have this camera moving around as a player in this scene. And I mentioned it during our commentary track, but there's a behind the scenes video on YouTube talking about this hot potato scene and just kind of breaking down the planning and everything that went into it, showing a bit of the artistry behind it. Which is, if you like that scene, if you like this movie, I can't recommend enough checking it out. It's not like it's reinventing the wheel or anything, but it's always nice to see stuff like that. So yeah, just a lot of examples. And that's just naming a small handful. They're sprinkled throughout this movie, just adding a little bit of flavor here and there. The tilt shot motifs we talked about. So yeah, just really, it's a nice looking movie that even if there's a lull in the comedy and we're hitting more plot points, there's still that Coco Melon eye candy for me to point to go, ooh, I like that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with basically every point that you made. I like, and I think that this helps stand it out, but I like that it has a visual distinction to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good looking movie.
Yeah.
Something that wasn't good looking though, the blood scene, CJ. I want to hear a bit about your thoughts. I know you talked a little bit about it before, but I guess we've talked a lot about through all of our episodes of The Film Is Okie Dokie. Your relation to horror, right? And how you're not the biggest fan of it, and just specific aspects to different degrees. But something that I know about you, of course, but not sure that we've talked too much is is your distaste for cringe comedy or cringe situations.
Yeah.
And before the movie, when I was giving my prediction about this, in my head, I thought, and I even said, like, there's one scene that I think might be a bit tough for CJ, but I was thinking about the bullet removal scene just because it's surprisingly gruesome.
Yes.
Right? Surprisingly gory. And that popped into my head. Like, knowing that you can handle that stuff, but it can be tough at times. I had totally forgotten about this scene though, and how much it's rooted in like the hiding your eyes of like, I can't believe this is fucking happening. So I wanted to hear like how much was this pushing up against your limits for that type of stuff? Could you manage it? Were you finding yourself really averting your gaze? I would just like to hear your thoughts and experience with that sequence in particular.
It is the combination, unfortunately, of a lot of blood, which blood in itself doesn't usually bother me, but the cringe. And I'll say this, because I get asked a lot about like what specifically I can't handle about cringe comedy. Because, like, I really don't like it. It makes me feel physically uncomfortable. There's a physical change in my body when I watch cringe humor. And I'll say that the longer that a scene goes on without a cut, man, the more difficult that is. Like, these shows that are just so... I don't even know how to explain it. All they are is just, hey, we're gonna hold this shot, like, and I really tried watching I Think You Should Leave, and me and you talked about it, but I just couldn't do it. They're like, that's not my shit. So more so than the blood, it was that combined with the fact that it wasn't ending. It was just a long shot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I was like, oh my God. No. Ah, jeez. So, I was watching that through my fingers, and honestly, I took my headset off at one point. I'm like, I can't, I'm not doing this. Like I said, physically uncomfortable, like a shiver in my spine, and like a tightening in my shoulders and all my muscles in my back. It just like, I was like a physical tightening, like you squeezing a fist, but that's your whole body reacting to the stimuli. So I managed, and like, I want to be clear, blood I can handle. A video game blood is way different for me. I don't know why. Movie blood I can handle. But like when it's like, oh, we're gonna paint this room white like a Jackson Pollock painting, I couldn't do it. And then he's wiping the dog. Oh my God, I was reactivating for me. When he's trying to clean the dog, and I literally said to you, he's making it worse. You laughed, you're like, he's making it so much worse. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you to speaking on that. Would you say, I know that you said like you took off your headset at one point, you were watching through your fingers. Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, where you're like, yeah, I could watch through it again, no problems, being 1, 10 being I never want to endure that scene again.
It's tough. I would say the toilet scene in Meet the Feebles is like a real solid like 9 or a 10.
Okay.
This is probably like a 7. Like, yeah, I could deal with it. Like, I'm not unable to handle or process.
Okay.
But like, I would prefer to avoid it.
Of course. I'm trying to, I do feel as though I've sussed out your boundaries pretty well with stuff in this regard. So I'm just trying to figure out, gather a bit more data on that front just for future movie selections.
Yeah. And I'm fine in general with not being comfortable. Like, I'm okay with that.
Right. Right.
But
that's
man,
important in art.
Cringe is so... Cringe sometimes is harder for me than horror.
Man, throwback to when me, you, and Jade watched an episode of Nathan For You at your place.
I could barely handle it.
That was amazing. That was so amazing.
I was sitting in my chair. I remember I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, you pulled the blanket up to your eyes.
Yeah, no, that was, I remember
good.
that.
So good. Okay, let's talk a little other stuff with game night. Okay, the end of the movie, right? The big resolution, they're all playing charades, they're doing game night again, and she's doing charades, revealing she's pregnant. Is this the worst pregnancy announcement in all of fiction?
Oh yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, it fits what they're doing because like they met each other at bar trivia,
right?
And they got engaged during charades,
right?
And this is what, Pictionary?
Yes, Pictionary. Yes.
Like, listen, yes, it's pretty bad. Also, like, would you? Here's a question for you. Let's say, would you want to be told in front of everybody?
No, that's what I take the biggest issue with.
Yeah, like, this is how I'm finding out, is you're telling us in front of all of our friends and family. So either you've known for a long time and you've been holding on because we've had some issues getting pregnant, and I don't think you would say something if you were like 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then,
they usually say like 12 weeks before you tell people, but not your partner.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's an important person to tell when you start sensing something.
Like your partner needs to be filled in day 0.
Yeah, your colleague is the person that finds out at 12 weeks or later.
Yes.
Not the man. He should not be finding out during Pictionary.
No. So
if
it's
anything,
either
maybe a private Pictionary.
Yes. So it's horrible for the like either one of two reasons. Either she didn't tell her partner for 12 weeks, or she is telling everyone that, you know, this couple that has had struggles getting pregnant, they are announcing their first pregnancy together the second that she's pregnant, and she's doing it with 0 privacy.
This is something that only this is something that only feels like a great idea to the people that like buy like tickets to go see Fast and the Furious 11.
Okay, expound.
This sounds like a terrible idea. But like, this is the kind of like cheesy, like, oh, this is amazing, that like I can imagine a certain kind of moviegoer really resonating with. Like how people like go to see like Fast and the Furious and be like, it's a movie about family. Like, shut the fuck up, man. I got a bridge in Brooklyn I want to sell you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that just in the moment, I had totally forgotten about that. Totally forgotten. Another thing that I wanted to bring up. So when they go to Kyle Chandler's for his board game or for his game night. So real quick, I just want to run through everyone who's there. Just help me make sure we're not forgetting anyone. There's Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams.
Yep.
There's Kyle Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
There's Billy Magnuson and Sharon Horgan. That brings us up to 5 people.
Yep.
There's Kylie Bunbury and Lamorne Morris. So 7 people, right?
Yes.
So Jason Bateman brings a few games with him for a game night, just in case Kyle Chandler didn't have any. He brings 3. Which, first, let's just talk about these as game quality. Scrabble, Clue, and Life. These are, like, are they tried and true classics? Yes. But these are fucking bottom of the barrel, basic ass games to bring to a game night, right?
In 2018, when this movie came out, these are not games that anybody brings to game night.
No, these are like 1995 games you're bringing.
Yeah, why don't you just bring fucking Candyland?
Yeah. So then I'd like to add, so there's 7 people. How many people can play Scrabble at once?
4.
4. How many people can play Life at once?
6, I think. 4.
4. How many people can play Clue? 6. So no matter what of these games they're playing, people are sitting out.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah.
I love when he threw the games on the floor, though.
Yeah, he hands them over and he just immediately throws them. Oh, something else that, speaking of throwing things, characters getting thrown for a loop. Let's talk about Denzel Washington.
He took an L in this movie. He wasn't even in it. The fact that and we'll post this in show chat when this episode comes out if you want to see this. We'll have the screenshot in show chat. But this is one of those things where it's like, who the fuck actually thought that was Denzel? That guy looked like the actor that plays Bubba in Forrest Gump. Like, he don't look anything like Denzel.
Oh my god. I think it's when he's at the gas station, like, it's like, okay, I could see if you were like, yeah, I'm at Denzel's like second cousin. There's like a little bit of a resemblance, but that's about it. Like, I could see it in the eyes, maybe a little bit the mouth, but that's it. Like, he looks nothing like Denzel. Oh my god. Well, I think that might be one of my favorite bits from this entire movie is the whole Denzel thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of favorite bits, CJ, did you have any scenes or bits that particularly stood out to you?
I love Sharon Horgan. She was good in this. Any particular scenes? I think the scene when she's making them do yoga with the gun and she gets down, that was pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the movie was okay. Nothing really standing out to me off the top of my head, you know? Yeah.
For me, the scene I immediately think of first whenever I think of this is the whole bullet removal scene. Which again is like she's looking up online how to remove a bullet, which, side note, one of my biggest complaints in terms of tropes in film or shows just in general are when someone is shot and they're like, we gotta remove the bullet, or like someone is dying and it's like the second they remove the bullet, then their heart rate stabilizes because like the bullet is killing them. That's not how it works. It's
not poisoning you.
No, there are thousands and thousands of people out there walking around with a bullet in them, right? Like, it's, especially in a forearm, why do you have to remove the bullet from a forearm? Like, this doesn't need to be solved now, but like her going into the store, buying like, they didn't have like anything to cauter. They didn't have any hard alcohol, so she bought like rosé. She bought like a dog squeaky toy for him to bite on, and like
that was funny. That was really funny.
The whole time her phone screen keeps shutting off, so she keeps having to tap it with her nose. Just a really funny sequence of cascading little things that they're having to put up with, while she also cuts an enormous opening into his arm that is ultimately unnecessary. I just love that sequence, but I think that sequence is partially so good because of Rachel McAdams and how she plays it. And you brought up the scene of her dancing around with the gun. Rachel McAdams is fantastic in this. I can't really think of two like, when I think of her, I think more of her as a dramatic actor. Not to say she hasn't done comedies, like she's of course Mean Girls. She's in Wedding Crashers, but it's not like she's much a source of comedy in that. Like, to me, she is a very, like, she can throw her weight around dramatically, right? Mm-hmm. And she just plays such a great oblivious character in this. Like, not like she's dumb, but she's just unaware of the greater as with most of the characters in this, unaware of the greater weight to the things going on, or like just so in over their heads, like her dancing around with the gun, like you said, or like near the end when the dude gets sucked into the plane engine, she's like, like happy, and she goes, oh no, he died, like so out of their depth. And I think that she's the person who best portrays this almost helplessness to the severity of things in the plot of this. So wanted to call her out. Also absolutely loved Billy Magnuson in this. He has so many great one-liners from just him misunderstanding things or sliding the money. He just, I think he plays the ditzy friend really well. And Jesse Plemons, I mean, what has Jesse Plemons done ever that's not of the utmost caliber and like pedigree? Like, he's one of our best actors working today.
That's a very high compliment.
I mean, would you not agree that he is one of our best actors working today?
I will not go either way, but I will say that he's really good and he makes me uncomfortable, which is what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, he's really good in this. Brings the right energy. CJ, you did make a prediction during this. Do you remember your prediction?
No.
So about 6 minutes into the movie, the instant Jesse Plemons appeared on screen, you yelled, "He did it!" And then when I pressed you, he did what? You said, "He's the reason they can't get pregnant."
Well, I was half right. He did do it.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
he can't be anything other than the bad guy. Like, which is great because he's great at it. But, you know, that also means when I see him, I go, he did it. He's married to Kirsten Dunst?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Apparently not.
Yeah, she so he is in Civil War, which is a movie that she stars in. And he's only in like one scene in that film, but he really steals the show. But he apparently wasn't supposed to be in that. They had a different actor who was who became unavailable just like a couple days before they were supposed to shoot. So she's like, what if I see if Jesse's available for it? And it worked out. He worked out in the role, and he's like the best scene in that movie because of how intimidating he is.
He has that scene. I mean, Todd Alquist is the worst thing. One of the worst characters in TV history in terms of like how bad they are, not the role. You know, the character, not the portrayal. He's in The Irishman, right?
Yeah,
that
very
scene,
briefly.
He's at the end. And they basically are planning to whack Robert De Niro in that movie and the setup for it. And then they have to like get out of it because he realizes they were going to whack him. And so he's like, I'll sit in the back. I'm like, okay, you sit in the back. Fine, okay, sit wherever you want. And then they have to like talk their way out of the idea that they were going to try and kill him when he sat in the front seat. So that was a fun. No, he's really good.
Yeah, you know, just making this our Jesse Plemons Power Hour. We recently saw Bugonia. He's fantastic in it. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, was that movie good?
Yeah, it was good. You know, it was really good. I wouldn't say that. I was going to say, you know, it's a really good movie in a year that is stacked with incredible films.
Right. I did put it on my Vulture list.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think that it could be a sleeper pick for some Oscar nominations. I didn't love it to that degree, but I would not be surprised if, you know, say Jesse Plemons had a nomination from it or Emma Stone had a nomination from it. Fun movie.
They're not like film of the year, but like could pick up some nods.
Yeah, maybe. On my on Letterboxd, I have a private list where I rank every film that I see that came out in any particular year. And right now I have it 15th on the year, but it's because there's a lot of good movies this year.
Yeah.
So
nice. All right. Was there anything else in analysis?
I just wanted to call out again, the whole cast has a lot of really great chemistry. I think that this is a movie that really, I don't think that it would fail without this specific cast, like a cast with less chemistry, because there are, it's fun. There's some funnily written bits, just the craft overall as well. But this movie does ride a lot on how good the chemistry is between, the individual pairings of people. Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman have a lot of chemistry as these characters. Billy Magnuson and Sharon Horgan, of course. But just when they're all in a room together, they're very believable as this group of friends who meets up for game night all the time.
Yeah, they feel like they could be friends. Like, there's nobody in here that I'm like, oh, no, these people couldn't,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
chemistry.
Well cast. But no, I don't have anything else other than our typical important questions, if you're ready to transition into those.
Yeah, let's do it. So
okay. Well, first, CJ, could you have done game night?
Who am I?
I think you would have to be Jason Bateman / Rachel McAdams, like in that role of my brother got kidnapped. He unknowingly to me is involved in black market stuff pursued by Michael C. Hall, but you're also in Jesse
or am I one or the other?
One or the other, and you can have like a partner to help you through it, because it's two people, so it might be tough to do what these two people separately are able to do.
I think I could be Jason Bateman. I don't think I could do the Rachel McAdams part. Although I would die of cringe while I get blood all over the dog. I could not go into my partner's arm, cut it down the railroad tracks, and fucking dig around for a bullet that's not in there. I couldn't do
it. Damn.
Couldn't.
Damn, that's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah.
So yes and no.
Yes and no. Does that mean we're on to whether the film was... Oh, no. This is part 2 of our duology.
No, that's at the very end. That's at the very end.
No. That was the...
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes. This is part 2 in our duology. Sorry, I thought you were moving on to...
No.
Okay, so yeah, part 2 in our duology on things hardly being profitable. That was with Scrooge. So I guess which film does things hardly being profitable better?
Oh, this one for sure. That's a great price for corn chips.
You don't think that the super live special of Scrooged takes the cake?
I'm going to stick with the meme.
All right. I like that.
The fact that at the end of the movie, he wrote to them.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he got correspondence back from them confirming the deal was not real.
How could Frito-Lay possibly make a profit?
Yeah, how could that possibly be profit? Oh, so good. We quote that all the time. One of my favorite movie quotes in general.
There you go.
Okay, I think that's all then for now, other than CJ. Is the film okie dokie?
The film is okie dokie. Easy thumbs up.
I am in agreement. This is an easy thumbs up.
All right.
Bouncing back from our streak-breaking last episode with Scrooge. So maybe this is the start of another long streak of the films being okie dokie. We will see. Okay, so now that we've gotten that sorted out, the film is okie dokie. Let's move on over to the rec room.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh my God, CJ.
It's a little sparse in here.
Yeah, what happened to everything?
I packed up because I'm going to New Hampshire.
You pack up the entire room just because it's going to go unused for a couple weeks? Where's the carpet?
It's partially that. It's also...
Where'd the fireplace go?
I'm remodeling as well, but I also did a deep clean. I went through so many Clorox wipes.
Also, I'm glad that the podium is still here. A lot of sponges?
Yeah, no, it's very clean. It's just also very empty.
It is spotless.
Okay. Unfortunately, I've been really busy, as Tommy knows. I'm doing like 12-hour days, and today was my last busy day. So for the rest of the month, until the last week of the month, I'm not busy. That having been said, it's been a very busy. I have had no time to watch anything, or play anything, or read anything. So I actually don't have anything to recommend to you guys, except what I will recommend is I have been using the Febreze car fresheners, the ones that go in the air vents. I bought some. I bought a 6-pack the other day, and really just helps the car not have like a dingy feeling. Obviously, I can't smell, but I'm going to have people in my car this week, and I thought it was important to make sure it smelled fresh for them. So I did a really deep clean of my car, and, really good deal on the Febreze car air fresheners.
Nice.
And I wish I had more, but like I said, it has been dearth of of anything. I have just been working and going to bed. So
no, I hear you. Sometimes that happens. I hear you. Well, I'll make up for your one by having a couple more of my own. First, I wanted to recommend the hot new show Pluribus. CJ, you planning to check this out?
I am when it's done for the season.
Come on. It's so fun to talk about week to week. I guess, do you want to take off your headphones for just a moment so I don't spoil the premise for you?
Yeah, just send me a DM when you're done.
Sure.
Yep.
So Pluribus, I'll keep this light. It is the next show from Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad. It stars Rhea Seehorn, who plays Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul. And the premise of this is pretty much everyone on Earth, save for like a few people, simultaneously enter a hive mind. And we then follow Rhea Seehorn as she is one of the few people who didn't. And just kind of grappling with all of that. Really, really, really great stuff. It's just a really interesting premise, and it's executed phenomenally. So if you like that premise, do check out Pluribus.
I return.
CJ is back. The next thing I wanted to recommend was the film Hamnet. Jade and I went and saw this in theaters the other week, and total mess at the end myself. I sobbing. Jade and I both cried so much during the movie, so much after. If you are unfamiliar, it is a film based on the book of the same title. That is a fictional retelling of how Will Shakespeare and his wife Anne Hathaway in real life, in this she goes by Agnes, how they lost their son Hamnet, and that inspired the creation of the play Hamlet. But it is very much about the grief and the family unit and everything like that. Really fantastic. It instantly became a favorite film of mine. And, very emotional. So if you're looking for a movie that makes you feel big feelings, but is just really well done, check out Hamnet. Similarly, that same weekend, we went and saw Sentimental Value, which has been a front runner all year for Best International Film. This is directed by Joachim Trier, the man who directed The Worst Person in the World, which I recommended last episode. This movie stars Renata Reinsve, the same star of Worst Person in the World. Stellan Skarsgård is in there, and Elle Fanning. They are kind of the big three in this, and it is about pretty much a father who is a bit estranged from his daughters. And he wants to make a movie. He is a director, and he wants to make a movie starring one of the daughters, but she does not want to be in it. So he proceeds making it with Elle Fanning, who plays an American actress in this. Really great. It has to do a lot with relationships to your parents and just generational trauma, stuff like that. Really good, funny at times. Again, that was Sentimental Value. And then the last thing I want to recommend is the hot new film Wake Up Dead Man, the third movie in the Knives Out trilogy. It might be my favorite of the trilogy. I had a really fun time with it. The cast is terrific. Josh O'Connor is the lead role in it, similar to Ana de Armas in the first film and Janelle Monáe in the second film. I think he is the strongest protagonist that these series have had yet. Just has a lot of meat to chew on in general, and provides a lot of depth that then resonates with Benoit Blanc as a character as well, and deepens Benoit Blanc. So really fun mystery. Jade and I were watching it on streaming and, guessing the whole time. Really, really fun. So if you like any of the Knives, if you like the first two Knives Out, please do make sure to check out Wake Up Dead Man. Again, it's probably my favorite of the series, but just to run through my recs again, that was Pluribus, Hamnet, Sentimental Value, and Wake Up Dead Man. And CJ, you recommended the Febreze car fresheners. So now is typically the time where we get up on our podium and talk about what we are watching next time on The Film is Okie Dokie. But bit of different schedule coming up. CJ and I have talked a lot about this already. So just to kind of reiterate and talk about what's going on. Next episode, there will be an episode 2 weeks from today, though because of mine and CJ's busy schedules with the holidays and us both traveling to Awesome Games Done Quick in early January. If you're listening to this when it comes out, be sure to check out the marathon. It starts in 2 days. We are recording a movie-less episode for our next episode. It's going to be shorter, a bit more bite-sized, and we're going to be making Oscar predictions. It'll be before the Oscar nominations are announced, so we'll talk about our thoughts on all the films that came out through the year, what we might see getting nominated, predictions for what might win, all of that jazz. And we will be continuing with our duology involving Game Night, the following episode to the Oscars special.
Right.
And we have a guest for that episode. That's right. We are being joined by our fourth ever guest. And I actually have...
Who were the other guests?
Audio. The other guests were in order: Jade, Gaffy, and Alex.
Well, technically, Dayman has been a guest.
Well, movie guests, I should say.
Movie guests. There you go.
Yeah, because then also Sable Dragonrook as well. So
yes, our correspondents. I guess they're correspondents.
Yes, they are our consultants, our consulting experts.
Yep.
So why don't I play our guests' audio file here, revealing what we're watching next time?
Hey, folks. I am Brian Otto, friend of Tommy's, and I think a friend of CJ's too. We'll get back to you on that. And I will be joining the show in not 1, but 2 episodes time due to a scheduling conflict with some guy named Oscar. So anyway, last time on The Film is Okie Dokie, we watched Game Night. And Game Night is part 1 in our duology in which we explore the age-old question of, is it a sibling rivalry or are you just getting cucked by your brother? That's right, we are watching the GOAT of rom-coms, Moonstruck, and I cannot be more excited. I look forward to seeing y'all then.
Wow, all right. I'm excited. Moonstruck. I know very little about this. How about you?
I know nothing about it.
Awesome. Well, we will see you next time on our Oscars special episode, and then we will see you in 2 times with Brian Otto watching Moonstruck.
Woo!
Thank you for listening. As always, please join our Discord server. Grab a friend's phone and download the podcast on their podcast catcher of choice. CJ, what else do they got to do?
Remember to rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. If you only give us 4 stars, I'm inclined to believe that you are a hater. Shout out to Bomani Jones at Wave Sports and Entertainment for the quip. Remember to tell your friends, tell your neighbors' friends, tell your neighbors' kids. They have little fingers. They have a hard time pushing the buttons. Just download it right to their phones, man. Just download it right onto their phones. As always, I have been CJ.
I have been Tommy.
This has been The Film is Okie Dokie. See ya!
Bye.